He's helped tens of thousands of people all over the world, and we're talking about Gary Coxe, a self-growth expert, and he joins us live now this morning to talk about his new book, Don't Let Others Rent Space in Your Head. Gary, I know you're on a promotional tour.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
I'm traveling all over. I'm locally doing some stuff with people like Legal Shield, you probably heard of them, and I do programs with people like Zango. Traveling all over, so I'm thankful to be here today.
Yeah, it's got to be cool. So let's talk about your book. Interesting title. Explain to us what's behind the book.
Well, the thing is, too many times in life, there's things that happen to us. You know, we're not immune to problems, and if we're not careful, we'll let that rent space in our head. And when we let that rent space in our head, it affects us from really going forward and accomplishing the things in life that we'd like to.
Okay. And at one point you address in the book is learn to lead your feelings, not to be a slave to them. Explain.
Right. Well, if you stop and think about it, we're so prone to being a slave to our feelings. You know, if you're not careful, you'll be like a kite in the wind. Whatever you get blown, that's where you go. And one of the things that we have to learn to do is really take control of our feelings so we can lead them, so we're just not all over the place.
All right. And you also have some advice for parents. You also talk about practicing what you preach.
Yeah, well, you know, how often like, say if we have a child and the child falls down, what do we tell the child to do? Get up, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what do we do for ourselves when things go wrong? Do we take our same advice, the same advice that we give our kids? Do we apply that? You know, we'll tell a child something like, you know, why don't you, quit? Or why don't you keep going on a particular thing and not give up? And sometimes we're so easy to wanting to give up ourselves, and we don't want to be doing that. We want to keep going forward.
And you also say focus on the solution rather than the problem.
Yeah, when there's problems in life, we get so wrapped up in the problem, not the solution. And when we get wrapped up in the problem, there's no way to fix it. So if we can switch from problem to solution, now we're looking for a way to solve it and get out of it and move on.
Okay, so a new year upon us, coming up in just a few months.
Yeah.
Maybe some folks out there have some goals, want to make some changes in their life. What would you suggest they do right now to make next year?
You just said it. Do something right now. We get so programmed into, following the tradition of, because it's New Year's, let's set a goal. Why can't we pretend that New Year's is right now, whenever right now is, whether it's December, June? And I think that helps us to be more tuned into really making things happen, as opposed to just living our lives normally, just to wake up, take the kids to school, go to work, and just have the same mundane thing going on.
The power of now, that's for sure.
Power of now. Now is no waiting.
No, that's for sure. Once again, the book is called Don't Let Others Rent Space in Your Head. Gary Coxe, thank you so much for joining us.
Don, thank you so much.
We have a link to Gary's website on our newly upgraded, thedenverchannel.com. Just click on that big red TV button.